Hello, and welcome to today's Spotlight interview episode. My name is David Davis of ActualTech Media. I'm excited to be joined by Mr. Yan Ness, who is the CEO of Verge.io. Yan, it's great to have you on the Spotlight interview today.
Thanks for having me, David.
Excellent. Well, let's just kick it off. I want to hear a little bit about your background, Yan. How did you get into what you do now, being the CEO of Verge.io? Tell us a little bit about the backstory.
Yeah, so serial tech entrepreneur here based in Ann Arbor, Michigan, mostly software companies. Prior to being CEO of Verge.io, I was CEO of a company called Online Tech, now Otava, which is a compliant cloud co-location hosting provider. And it was an interesting journey. Basically, I found this piece of software here in Michigan. This company was actually founded about 10 years ago. It used to be called Yottabyte, which was a software-defined storage area network, quite a bit ahead of its time, and looked at it, thought it was untapped technology, and here I sit.
Awesome. Well, Verge.io has got a really fascinating product. I bet a lot of companies out there, a lot of IT professionals, may not have heard of, and that's what we hope to do here, is to educate the world on, what you're doing there at Verge.io. So I know that the product is the Verge OS. Why don't you tell us about the goal of the Verge OS?
Yeah, so the ultimate North Star for us is bringing simplicity, quite frankly, sanity, and trying to get rid of the toil and drudgery and reduce some of the costs and risks of building out private clouds and virtual data centers. Basically, we used to be a company called Yottabyte, and our invention there was global data deduplication, and the ability to handle just massive amounts of data. In fact, the company was called Yottabyte because the yottabyte is 1 trillion terabytes, and we can address that. And we added some more virtualization to it. We basically, ultimately, in a single piece of software, encapsulated is the word we used, the entire data center. So all the storage technology, then the hypervisor, software-defined networking, DNS, logging, monitoring, compliance, security, DR. We sort of kept swallowing up the next layer of devices and software and brought it into our thin operating system.
Yeah, this sounds really amazing. I mean, being a person who managed data centers before and implemented virtualization and storage and data protection and monitoring and virtual networking and all those things that go into that, I'm really intrigued by what you're doing with Verge OS here, because it seems like it's almost too good to be true. It has everything here in a single piece of software that could potentially replace so much complexity out there. Am I getting the idea right here with the Verge OS?
Well, it is true, but it's not too good to be true. And I want to make it sound like sort of, the panacea for all things IT. But our customers, they literally report, 1/3 to 1/5 the cost, half the staff, because your patch schedules just got really, really easy. You patch one thing, zero downtime, very encrypted. Scalability gets easy. You need any one of the new resources. You need more storage. Add another commodity x86 box stuffed full of storage. We liquefy that resource. We liquefy the CPU, RAM, network, storage, and now also the GPUs that we find in all the commodity hardware underneath us. And we present that up that you can now organize into virtual data centers. What's really powerful is each of those virtual data centers are fully independent. So you can pick one up. There's no connections to anything else. You can pick one up and move it to another Verge instance, and it'll run even its public IP addresses, its storage, its security profiles. And that could include a virtual data center with 100 VMs, 50 Linux, 50 Windows, running Oracle, SQL Server, whatever you want. It basically allows you to treat an entire data center like VMware originally allowed you to treat a server. Pick it up, move it around, shut it down, clone it, spin it up, expand it, shrink it. We brought that notion to the whole data center.
Wow. I mean, I'm really impressed by not only this having a virtualization hypervisor, but also storage, networking, management, data protection, kind of all built into a single solution. So if folks want to try this out for themselves in their own data center, is that possible?
Yeah, so that we love it when people play with this thing, because it really, for me, it felt like the first time I used an iPhone. It was like, oh my God, this is so much easier now. And it can be used by an expert and it can be used by a generalist. And so we love it when people try it. And the best way to do that is go to our website, and we have 2 ways for you to try it for free. You can either click on the free test drive button, and we have it running in our infrastructure. Within a few minutes, you can fill out a form and give you a link, and you can start playing with it. And it's all on our hardware. Or fill out the form and we'll send you the software. Or you can click to download it. We'll give you a trial encryption key. You can install it on your bare metal servers. Takes about 15 minutes. And we got videos online that show you how to do it, and you can play with it to your heart's content.
Excellent. Well, this is something I plan to deploy in my own lab environment. Check it out, try it out for myself. I bet a lot of IT pros out there are going to want to do the same. Verge.io sounds like a great opportunity for a lot of companies out there to help them, reduce complexity, reduce software license costs, do more with less, which I'm sure they're, continually being pushed to do, and just gain greater efficiency all around, which is something that I think, desperately need in the IT organization. So thank you for educating us on Verge OS today from Verge.io. Yan, it's been great having you on the Spotlight series today. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
And thank you, of course, to Verge.io. If you would like to learn more and see the Spotlight series interviews, check out the ActualTech Media YouTube page for additional information.